Hello. Let's see how we are doing. Let's make sure that the mic is working. I think this is working. Hello YouTube. How we doing today? Let's see if we can go live in the Facebook group. Hello everybody. These are always going to be the... Let's see if we got this. And we are going live. No, Facebook is always weird. Whenever I try to go live in the Facebook group, it does not actually go live. Huh. I think we did this last week too, and it did not work. Why? Let's see. I also have so many damn tabs open. I don't know if you've ever worked on or work with a Mac, but it can be a pain in the butt. So let's see how we doing over here on this. And we have the multi-stream. Is this one live here? Nope. See, there it is. Let's see. Is this gonna work here? Uh-oh, I see some activity. It's weird. So let's... I don't see an actual video on... It's weird. So let's... Oh, wow. Now it's echoing. I don't see an actual video on... All right, so there's no video on there. That's weird. So how does that work? Huh. Forgive me, YouTube, if you're wondering. I'm trying to figure out this suit. So what ended up happening is I got this new streaming setup, but there's actually no video on whenever I look at my my YouTube. The audio's there. There's no video. How does that work? This is why I give it to people who are smarter than me, and eventually, maybe one of these days, I'll figure it out. Right? Maybe one of these days I'll actually figure it out. And let's see here. Does this work? Preview scene, program scene. Look at that. I think I got it. I think we're here. If you've been wondering, Nick, I hear you, but I don't see you. What the hell is going on? Let's see if this works. If this works, I'll be surprised. All right. Here we go. We're going to go live. We're going to try it. So we're going to get us going here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you can hear me, if you can see me, holler at me. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know. We are going live here. We're going live on Instagram as well. So... I got some new streaming setups going on here. Sound is good. Oh, perfect. Sound is good. You can hear me on the sound. I got a new streaming setup. So this one thing that I was using that was streaming all these different platforms, they ended up wanting to charge me like $80 just to stream it. Then I found something new. So now I have to figure out how to stream to all these different platforms. I don't know. But as long as you can hear me, we're live here on Instagram, we're live here on YouTube, and we're live in our Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, we're also live in there because I know people have talked to me and say, Nick, I want to watch you on my screen rather than my phone. So we'll give you some different action. So today, if you aren't familiar with it, or maybe you are familiar, is that every Monday we do a live stream talking about mindset. And essentially this topic has come up many a times. I've talked about it in multiple live streams called the Power Hour. And a lot of times people are like, well, what the hell is that? What is this? And I know a lot of times in productivity, if you're somebody who works at home, if you're somebody who has a lot of time for themselves, but you don't necessarily know how to schedule it and how to put it into actually have some productivity. That's where this power hour essentially stems from. There's something called the Pomodoro method, and that states that you'd take some of your workday and you would dedicate 15 to 20 minutes or 15, essentially 15 minutes, and go step away from your work, go do something that's active in mindset, and then come back to your work instead of just kind of working dreaded 8 hours a day, right? And so I thought about this in regards to not only how I work, but how a lot of my clients work. So a lot of my clients, we work with over 30 clients right now online. And one of the things that I notice is most of the clients are working from home, right? Most of my clients are working from home. And so I figured, like, what is a way, and a lot of times people talk about, I really don't have time to actually work. I got kids. And let me know in the chat if time has ever become, I don't know, something that has been a barrier for you whenever you've come to like maybe focus on health goals. But this isn't just more or less about exercise. It's more about productivity. And this is something that for me, as I started transitioning into this online coaching world and making content and doing all this other stuff rather than traveling to people's houses, cooking and training them, I realized that I wasn't as active, right? I wasn't as active as I used to be. I wasn't as active because I'm sitting in my chair. I'm messaging you guys. I'm making these streams. I'm making these scripts and thinking about what the hell to talk about. And I had to figure out a way to do it. And that Pomodoro technique was something that I've used when I was in college, but I figured, how can we spin this a way that's going to make it a little bit better for us? So this is what we're going to do. So the power hour is essentially, and I'm going to have a printout on this. I'm going to put it in my stories. I just haven't made finish the script yet on how I want to do it. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to dedicate a day or two to focus on essentially these power hours, and we're going to call them power days, right? We're going to start with 2 days. And so how I ended up doing this was doing Tuesdays and Thursdays just because it made sense. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, essentially what we are going to start doing is, and I want you to do, you can find your own days, whatever's going to be more productive, is that if you're somebody who works at home, I want you to dedicate Tuesdays and Thursdays, and right before you go to work, you're going to dedicate 3 hours. You're going to be like, Nick, 3 hours? What the hell am I going to do? So 3 hours. So you're going to do 3 different power hours. And essentially what these power hours are, they're going to be one in the beginning of your day. And this might be, and I'll get into it, one in the afternoon and one towards the end of your day. And the reason we're going to break it up into these power hours, essentially what we're going to do, and this is something that I have to do, is that we're going to work 45 minutes. Deep work. I'm talking put the damn headphones on and just grind away at a specific task. 45 minutes. No distractions, no phone, nothing. You're going to set a timer. It's going to be 45 minutes. You're going to do this 3 times throughout the day. And then you're going to, as soon as that 45 minutes is up, and this is probably works whenever you're at home working because you make your own schedule. As soon as that 45 minutes is up, that buzzer comes off. You dedicate 10 minutes. And this is how we're going to do this is we're going to actually schedule in timers in our phone. And so how we're going to do this is we're going to go right into movement, right? Now, most of the time, what I'm going to encourage is that you get, right, the bands that we talk about, right? I got all these bands, and essentially it's like, all right, the timer goes off, you get the bands around here, maybe you're stretching, right? And so now there's 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. You've dedicated this 10 minutes. Nothing else is going to be for your exercises. So maybe you're doing some pull-aparts. Maybe you're doing some of the ones where you're on the wall, doing your knee drives. Whatever it is for 10 minutes. And you know me, I already wrote everything down, so you're going to be able to have this print out once I'm done finishing. I just didn't have it finished before I got in here. So I'll give it to you in here in a little bit. But you're going to do 10 minutes of deep work. You're going to do 45 minutes of deep work. You're going to do 10 minutes of some sort of movement, right? And then 5 minutes to do whatever the hell you want. Maybe you go and scroll on your phone. Maybe you go to the bathroom. Maybe you go down and get a drink. Maybe you do whatever. But then you just go back and you go back into your work, right? And then a few hours go by. It's noon. Maybe it's 1 o'clock. You're going to go ahead and do the same thing, right? But this time your exercise or your movements are going to be something a little bit different, right? They're going to be a little bit more maybe invigorating. Maybe in the beginning of the day, you're doing yoga, you're trying to limber up, but during the middle of the day, you're going to go ahead and focus on something that maybe is more invigorating, that's going to give you more energy. Maybe this is squats, maybe this is more banded work, maybe this is push-up, something. And then towards the end of the day, you're going to figure out something that is going to be more beneficial for you to kind of unwind on the day. Maybe this is a meditation. Maybe this is a 10-minute, just a walk. Who knows? But that was just kind of like the quick overview of what these power hours are. Now I'm going to tell you and explain to you the research and the science behind this and show you how it's that effective. So if you think about it, if we do that by this day, right? If you go ahead, and I was just doing some research, I'm looking at my stats right here. So if we do, so one day, right? You do this for one day. That's 45 minutes of deep focus work. You have 10 minutes of work where you're doing exercise, right? And then you have 5 minutes to check your phone, do whatever the hell you want. When you look at it, that's 135 minutes of productive work. 135 minutes of you actually like focusing on a task. And I don't know about you, but I got ADD, right? I have a million tabs going on. I'm working on this project. I'm working on that. I'm working on this. I'm messaging you. Then I'm thinking about a live stream. Then I'm thinking about dinner. Then I'm thinking about what the hell my cat's doing, right? But if we could spend 45 minutes 3 times throughout the day, right? This is going to give us 135 minutes of productive work. What I've noticed for me is that it has allowed me to make more scripts, to make better videos. It's allowed me to actually just kind of get things done, right? And I think a lot of times when we're working from home or we're working in just any realm where we're at our house, we could be scrolling on our phone, all these different distractions. This gives us structure, right? Because not only does it give us structure, it gives you 30 minutes of exercise. This was the whole goal, right? Because when I was in research, when I was in college at the University of Pittsburgh, and I've said this a million times, is that we did the research that shows that 30 minutes 3 times a week is effective as an exercise bout, right? So if you do 10 minutes 3 times a day, that's just as effective as a 30-minute just straight on exercise session. Now, if you could do that 3 times a week, what's that going to do for you, right? That's going to actually give you some exercise. That's going to give you some movement. That's going to help get you out of pain, right? So let's talk about this. Now, I want you to think, how could you possibly do this, right? Like, how could you possibly fit this into your schedule? Well, it's very simple. If every Sunday, now this is something, if you're one of my clients, because I have this saved in the in our Facebook group as well, is that if you're one of my clients, this is something we're going to talk about. This is something, Debbie, it's going to be so great. Okay, it is. It's something. It's a game changer, right? It's a real big game changer because you can apply this to so many different things. But I encourage you starting with 2 days, right? We start with 2 days. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and just figure out, does this even work for me? But we're going to start on Sundays. So on Sundays, we're going to look at our schedule and be like, all right, what the hell, what are we doing throughout the week? What is important? All right, I have meetings here, I have meetings there, but we got to figure out, you got to figure out what days are going to be your power days. And then you could start to add these power hours, right? And so the way that I have it is start with 2 days a week and right before work starts. So sometimes for most people it might be like 7 or 8. I would say you do 1 hour where you are actually, maybe you're just planning your day, right? Maybe you're just planning your morning. Maybe you're just getting stuff set up, but you're doing it before work. And this might be simple stretches. I do my morning movement series. I'll show you all these different movements that I'm doing. But maybe you dedicate your morning to your injuries, right? Maybe you're dedicating your morning to your ankle or your quad or your hip or your back, right? And you're just dedicating that 10 minutes of power hour work to that specific injury, right? Or specific ailment. But then in the midday, because we all need that midday pick-me-up, maybe that's whenever you're doing some sort of cardio type of session, right? Something that's more energizing, like squats, push-up, something that you don't want to do, but you do it and you feel better after you do it, that. But then the evening one, maybe this is like 5 o'clock, maybe the end of your day, this is something where it is meditation, right? It is gratitude. It's focused on something. And the thing is you're actually getting control and you're actually focusing on yourself, right? And I feel like that is something that's very important in this day and age, right? Is that if we could start to just dedicate these little chunks of time, we could start to dedicate these little bit of chunks of, I'd say more or less focus. You're going to see such a big difference, not only in the way that you work, but the way that you move. right? And I think that's very important. Now, let me know in the chat if exercise or time has always been something you said, well, I'd love to exercise, but I just don't have any time. Nick, I just don't, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I work all day. I got the kids. I got to cook dinner. I got to do all this shit. What is going on, right? Let me know. We've all said it. We've all been there, right? So I know if you don't say anything, I know you're lying because we've all said it, right? But this gives us the time, right? Because we're making the time. Because cognitively, you've marked out the time. And ideally, what the research has shown, what we've seen in the in science, was the fact that once you start dedicating 10 minutes, you're going to want to do more. That's kind of like the whole idea, is that we kind of trick you. This fucking ball. I got to get a different setup. It's about making the time. I still say it, right? I love that, Debbie, right? It's about making the time. Because if you don't make the time, guess what? That time never shows up, and we never have that magical time. So we are actually dedicating, and we are making the time, right? Because we're putting it into the schedule. So we're going to dedicate one day. It made me feel more energized on 15-minute walk. Sarah, let's go. Actually, I did see that on the app. I was like, oh, shit. And that's whenever I started messaging you. I was like, what habit should we put on there? And I'm like, okay, let me get back to this when we're done with this story. Because this is something we're going to talk about for going on next week, right? For when we talk about in our meetings, is making sure that we are focusing on this and just kind of make it something that is, something new, right? Because we said, what's 2025? New year, new goals, right? Always make time to do some sort of movement, exercise, or workout, even if it's just a walk. Right, Jenny? And this is going to be a way that you can start to focus on some of those other things. Now, let me know if you were in yesterday's yoga class, right? How do your hips feel, right? Do you feel, I tell you what, the side of my hip right here, it's like kind of like the hip to the glute, right? Like, oh my gosh. But it feels like my back feels good. Right? My hips feel a little sore, but I'll tell you what, my back feels good, my legs feel good, and it's like the little things that, like, if we could dedicate some of this time, some of these days to those specific problems or issues, we could start to work our own issues, right? And that's the whole thing about this, about the page, about my coaching, and about all these different, my philosophies and theories on like health and wellness, and is that like it's up to us to take control of our own health, right? And this is just a way that we can go into, I was limping the rest of the day, yeah, right? But this is a way that we could start to take back our own health, right? Because when you think about it, if you're somebody who works from home, you're doing a lot of sitting. And the thing is not only are you doing a lot of sitting, but like dedicating these specific hours, like you're breaking this up so that you can actually go and get rid of the muscle stiffness rather than getting up and being like, oh, hold on, and then you get up, right? It's like, all right, this is my power hour from 10 to 11. Every Monday, I do this. My power hour from every Monday in the afternoon is 4 to 5, right? And then, like if you could dedicate these things, now it doesn't even have to be work, right? Like it could be anything that you are focused, any task-related thing. And I've noticed that I've done this with what the hell was I doing when I was writing my YouTube script, right? I was like, damn, I don't know what the hell to do. I want to do this video. I don't know what the hell. But I was like, let me just dedicate this 45 minutes of deep work. Let me plug my earphones in. Let me get some beats going on, some 120 hertz type music where it's like keeping me focused. And I realized that like I completed it in 20 minutes. And I was like, well, what am I going to do for the rest of the 20 minutes, right? Because you don't really realize that they always say is an hour of like deep focused work will make up for like 4 hours of you just staring at your damn computer, checking your phone, going for the cat, right? Because you never really get anything done. And so I bet when you start implementing this type of technique, you're going to start to see your productivity go up. You're going to start to see like your tasks getting done. Then you're going to be like, holy shit, this actually does work. And then maybe that's whenever you add an extra day. Now, I'm still trying to figure this out myself. This is something that, I've been trying to adopt and try to utilize and try to make for my own health and my own productivity and for business because we've been getting busier and busier as the days go by. And so like being able to dedicate these different things, it shows that not only are we dedicating for our health, but we're dedicating for our mindset and we're just dedicating some time over to everything. Now, I would say just maybe before, when you first start, do 2 and 2. So it's 2 days, 2 power hours. Start there. Now this could be, and I want you to figure out, okay, because now I want you to actually start to figure out. Now that we know all the philosophy and everything's going on, how are we going to make this a habit? So I have some notes right here that I wrote down. Was two power hours per day. Now, if you can figure out, like for me, it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so it was 10 a.m. to 11 was like my straight power hour. And then 3, after I would be done with these live streams, I would just go straight to it and just work. Maybe this was messaging clients, maybe whatever this is. And then I would be able to go on and just kind of do whatever I would do. But I want you to think, what 2 hours on a day can you dedicate to a power hour? And let me know if anybody's got a better name for it, right? I just thought power hour sounded cool. But what can we do for this power hour? What days can you apply? What hours can you do? Are you more of a morning person? Are you more of an afternoon? Do you need something more structured at night, right? And the thing is like, try it and make it feel natural, right? Just put it into your schedule and see. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more during the masterclass. This is actually one of the techniques that we are going to implement in the masterclass. I guess I really didn't announce it, but we talked about it yesterday. We're going to be doing a masterclass. It's going to be back to the basics, going from overwhelm to structure. I forget the name that I actually said. It was like from overwhelm to, I don't know, I had a good one. But we're going to be doing a masterclass, free masterclass next Sunday evening. So make sure you tune into that. We're going to have a sign-up sheet on my stories. We're going to do it in Zoom. But what we are going to do is we're actually going to go through this, right? We're going to do this all together. We're going to actually make our schedule. We're going to go ahead and make a power hour. We're going to go ahead and figure out what is it that you were going to do. And it's going to be something that's going to be able to bring you back to basics. So if you're interested in doing this as like a workshop, because we got a lot of feedback from our vision board workshop. So I figured, why not do something like this? So I figured, let me introduce this to you today on the Monday Mindset. And then we'll talk about making this, if you need some extra help, next Sunday, in our little vision board type of workshop thing that we did last week. Or it wasn't last week, it was last month. But the thing is the reason I said that is because you need accountability, right? Because it's one thing if you're just doing some crazy shit, people are like, what the hell are you doing? But if you have a couple people, maybe some people in the community, if you're going to be watching this in the Facebook group, because it's going to be saved, right? Let me know, what is your power hour? List it in the bottom of this video. Post it in the group. What can you do, right? Because the best thing is like, you need some accountability from some people, right? Because it's one thing for you to do this, but when you know that there's a whole bunch of other people doing it, you realize like, oh, okay, like what have you been doing? What works for you? Oh, I've been doing yoga in the morning, but then in the evening, I've been doing another yoga session, like what works for people? Because when it comes down to it, it's going to help you work smarter. It's going to help you just kind of like move more, right? Because you're actually dedicating time to it, but it's simple. It's something that you can just add into your routine that's going to make it simple, make it easy, make it accessible, make it something that I always say, right? It's something that you want to do rather than something you have to do. And if you're like, Nick, I don't even know where the hell to start. You wanted me to do a damn power hour. I don't even know what the hell to do. Well, then you DM me Core 5, and then we start getting you on a personalized plan, and then we get you into figuring out your own power hour, right? But it's one day at a time, right? I know it's 2025. Everybody's new year, new goals. Maybe some other people, new year, new me, and I'm ready to exercise again, right? We just got out of the holidays. But then it's like, what do you do? This person's telling me not to eat this. This person's telling me to eat this. This person's telling me, and you just get confused. But you realize that it's up to you to start taking control. Doesn't matter. Everything's going to get you into the place you want to be. It's whatever you are going to be able to stick with and want to actually do, right? Because it's a lifestyle. This is all a lifestyle, and this is a lifestyle, pretty much a productivity hack. So let's just kind of recap it here as I spill my water. Is that for 2 days a week, we're going to start by dedicating 2 hours. If you're, a real badass, you could do it beginning of the day, middle of the day, the end of the day. But I want you to dedicate 2 hours. And this power hour is going to be 45 minutes of dedicated deep work. It's going to be 10 minutes of some sort of movement, some sort of exercise, some sort of band, squat, lunge, whatever. And then you're going to do 5 minutes of whatever the hell you want to do. You got to go to the bathroom. You got to scroll on your phone. You want to do it. But as soon as those timers are off, you move and you go off and you do your job or whatever the hell it is that you're supposed to be doing. And then when that next buzzer comes on for your next power hour, you do your dedicated deep work, whatever you're working on, deep work, kind of dive into it. And do your, and watch how it transforms your life, right? Because again, you're building structure. I think that was the whole thing. And whenever I looked at it and started seeing it work for me, and I was realizing that like the task that I was doing was, and this is somebody who I have ADD, so I'm always I have a million different tasks going. I started seeing tasks get done, and I was like, there's something to this. And so after a couple of weeks, I started realizing, there really is something to this. Why not? Let's bring it out here and have it as a topic for everybody on Instagram and on our Facebook and YouTube, because we're streaming everywhere nowadays. So let me know how you are going to implement this into your routine, and let me know what you're going to do. Which one are you going to, who's texting me right now? Which one are you going to do? Are you a morning power hour? Are you an afternoon power hour? Are you going to be an evening power hour? And realize, start with two days. And then I would always actually, to think of a progression, if you're just like going at it right now and you're like, Nick, I got this, is to think you would do 2 days, 2 hours, 2 days, 3 hours, and then you would go to 3 days. So think of that progression, right? 2 days, 2 hours, 2 days, 3 hours, and then 3 days, 2 hours, and just start from there. You don't want to be like, overwhelm yourself, right? Make sure it's, we always got to progressively overload ourselves. Okay, morning. I love that. Implement that in the morning, getting that deep work in, dedicating yourself right in the morning, making it easy. And honestly, that's where I find myself. I get all my best work done in the morning. I find myself to be a morning person, as you could tell, as you've ever watched the stories, is that I am up at 4 o'clock in the morning doing these damn exercises over here, right? So it's kind of like my power hour is. Everybody knows that my hour, I wouldn't say everybody, but that is my power hour. That's why I wake up early. That's why I do my morning routine, because I'm able to do my exercises. I'm able to check my messages, my emails, do my deep work, and then be able to go, right? And make it so much easier. It's just not, Debbie, okay, that's, you're just not doing it at all, right? We're just not, hell with this. No, I'm kidding. But if you think that you are like, I'm so busy, I don't even know where I can put this. Think about this, right? Really think about what are you going to be able to be more productive in the morning? Would you be able to be more productive in the afternoon, or would it be more productive in the evening? Pick 2 hours. That was a typo. Pick 2 hours for 2 days and dedicate 45 minutes of deep work. I'm talking plug your earphones in, start to go after it. 10 minutes of movement. This could be a walk. This could be your bands. This could be squats. This could be anything. And then you do 5 minutes of whatever the hell else you want to do, right? Get a drink, do something. And if you can implement that into your routine, remember, 2 days for 2 hours, and then go up and scale up from there, you're going to crush it. It's going to be a life changer. And then you can actually implement this, as I smack the mic, you can actually implement this in other things in your life, right? And I feel like that's where it's going to be the most important. You're going to feel the most effective. So we're going to save this on our Facebook. We're going to save this on our YouTube and Instagram. I feel like, well, you just have to go. You have to sign up. If you want to watch this on a replay, you have to sign up to the Facebook group, because that's where I'm going to release. Like it's like I'm holding on to it. That's where I'm going to give you guys the PDF. So I'm going to put it into the Facebook group, and you guys should have the PDF of some things that you could possibly do, and a little slide of what we're talking about here. So let me know if you have any questions about the power hour. Essentially, if you have any questions on like how do you implement it, how would this be essential, and how can you start to, and you could do it right now. You could do it today, right? You could do it starting at 3 o'clock. Say, this is going to be my power hour where I am going to dedicate myself. And maybe we do a challenge. You know what? Maybe we do like a little challenge. I'll do like a giveaway. Whoever tags me, I'll have to think about that. Yeah, we'll do a little challenge. We'll do a little gift card giveaway. Shout out to everybody who wins the gift card. So we're going to release everything. We'll have you give you some extra material in the Facebook group. And let me know some of your biggest takeaways, whether or not you are watching this live, whether or not you are watching this on the replay on the Facebook group or on YouTube. Let me know what your power hour is going to be. And I'm kind of curious because maybe we can all work from each other and keep you all accountable, essentially, right? I think that's what it all comes down to. So thanks everybody for tuning in to our Monday mindset. We're going to start implementing this power hour routine into our life. And I bet if you could do that, you know what's going to happen. You're going to see results. So let me know, everybody, how everybody does. Make sure you tune in to the Facebook group and make sure, and you have to add, somebody was asking, Nick, I was looking for the Facebook group. It's on our links on, like if you go to our bio, you click the little links and you have to scroll down, you have to request access. Because I didn't want to make it's a public group, it's a free group for everybody, but I didn't want to make it like public where like everybody can come in, right? It's like, so because we started getting bots in there. I was like, who the hell was this? And so I had to delete everybody, make it private, so you have to request access to essentially get in there. So that's all we got for today. That's our Monday Mindset live stream. And let me know if you have any questions, and let me know your power hour in the comments below. We got some good things coming up this week, and I have some big announcements that I am working on, but they aren't quite ready yet. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will see you on Wednesday on our next video. So peace out, everyone. Have a good day.